I used to believe that rock and roll music was a genre that belonged to men. All right, let me explain. So there was a ton of music being made in my environment during early childhood. I used to lay in the middle of the floor during band practice and fall asleep because I just found something about it to be so incredibly comforting. But over time, I began to notice the way the men around me spoke about women, how the men played their instruments and their wives sat by them like decorative props. I started hearing words like groupies and seeing the way that it would bemuse the men when a woman would pick up a guitar and try to play something that they learned. Plus, I'm like looking at all of these CDs and it's just a bunch of white guys. I even remember going to school having learned like all of 5 chords, and I was so excited to tell the kids, I played the guitar now. To which I was met with the blatant narrative that girls don't play the guitar. And although I have such a deep love and reverence for the piano, I do sometimes wonder if part of the reason I chose it as my primary instrument is because the piano is considered to be a more appropriate instrument for women to play. But I guess that's a side note. Anyway, the important part. So you can probably imagine my surprise when I came across Sister Rosetta Tharpe. She was a queer, Black, touring musician in the 1940s and was the first practitioner of what we would consider to be rock and roll. Before Chuck Berry, Little Richard, Elvis, Cash, Clapton, there was Sister Rosetta. And a few of these artists did credit her influence on their music and technique. Chuck Berry famously said that his entire career was one long Sister Rosetta Tharpe impersonation. She's recognized as a pioneer of distorted guitar, purposely using heavy distortion in the 1930s and 40s, long before it became a standard element of the genre. And if that wasn't enough, you can also thank her for tour buses, because as she was touring under Jim Crow law, she and her band were frequently barred from hotels and restaurants. That left them having to sleep in their cars, and eventually she purchased a bus to serve as their primary sleeping quarters instead. Anyway, the next time you listen to Zeppelin, think of Sister Rosetta Tharpe, will you?